Ahead of this year's gatheran in 2025, there are 8 clubs that have released new gatheran designs. And today, considering gatheran is right around the corner, I thought I'd jump on and rank every single one of the new Guernseys from worst to best. Now, thank you to UCAT for giving me this idea. I know we did something very similar last year, but I figured I'd jump on, get around the gatheran hype, and I love going through Guernseys. It's one of my more favorite sort of types of videos to make, so I figured I'd have to jump on and see what all the fuss is about. Now, over the last few years, we have seen more clubs participate in wanting to be a part of creating something new for gatheran. I know in 2023, I believe we only had the couple with Adelaide and Freo, then we jumped to a few more in 2024 with 5. So this year we do have the most amount, but we still have over half the clubs that haven't bothered going for anything different. And I think for gatheran, surely the clubs can go out of their way and think of something unique, think of something retro. This should be a tradition for every single year, and I want to see more clubs get involved. Make it like the heritage rounds of back in the days where every team did have their unique design. Now, in unofficial 9th place, we have Essendon's Guernsey. The reason why it's unofficial is because it's not really a gatheran design. This is a new away design in 2025. I actually went through this in a video earlier this year, but for some reason the AFL are trying to push this out as if though it is an exclusive gatheran design, which it clearly isn't. I'll just make mention of it because they will be wearing it for the first time, I believe, ever. So that's sort of cool. And I do like the look of it. Finally deciding to inverse the red and black sash. So I'm excited to see him run out for the first time in this against the D's. The D's are a side that have released a new really cool gatheran Guernsey that I'll be talking about a little bit later in the video. Now, officially kicking things off in 8th place, I've thrown in Hawthorn's gatheran design. Now, I don't necessarily hate this design, but we obviously need to put some sides Guernsey in at last place. And I feel like Hawthorn's Guernsey probably does the least for me. Now, it's meant to be a gold version of the heritage design in 2025, obviously it being Hawthorn's 100th year. So I like how they've actually gone out of their way and thought of something creative, but to me, this symbolizes more of a training Guernsey. It doesn't feel like an official AFL Guernsey. Is it because the emblem's a little bit too big? I don't mind the HFC design, but I am going to chuck it in 8th position. In its 7th spot, we have the Giants, and they're re-releasing their stealth kit for gatheran ahead of their clash against the Saints. Nothing necessarily wrong with this one either. In fact, it is actually one of my more favorite Guernseys, but because we have seen it already and they haven't decided to go for anything different, I'm actually going to be bumping it down a little bit. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually think it's going to be quite interesting seeing this against a non-Gold Coast or Sydney side. So against St Kilda, that's going to be weird. I like it. It's clean. It's simplistic. It works nicely. But because we've seen this one already before, I'm not having any higher up. In at 6, we have Adelaide's new gatheran Guernsey design for 2025. As you can see, it's kind of similar to their last two. So what they had in 2023 and 2024, they had the retro crow with a glow effect coming out of it. I think I like those designs a little bit more. This one's still pretty nice, but to me, it seems like it's a little bit too plain. All it really is obviously the navy blue back, and thrown on is their new Crows logo in 2025. It's nice. I like it. But it doesn't do as much for me as some of the other ones in this list. I like to see Adelaide do something different every year, and that's what they do. They're the kings of the Guernsey game, just about. And this one's not my favorite, but it's still pretty nice. In 5th place, we have one of the more unique designs you'll ever see. It is the Gold Coast Suns pink kit. It's an all pink design for the first ever time that Gold Coast have decided to throw out of nowhere. And I don't know where I sit on it. I mean, I think it does look cooler than their current home design. I'll give them that. Does it work with the Gold Coast? That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. I remember we thought they were going to roll out with this design, which is sort of an inverse. Now, I think that would have looked a bit cooler with the pink logo and the black design. And honestly, I think it might start growing on me. I will be going to the game at the Barossa against North, which they'll be wearing that Guernsey for. So seeing it firsthand in action is going to look really cool. You've got to give credit to Gold Coast because it's so different from what we would normally expect from all the other clubs. Obviously, Gold Coast, unlike a lot of the other teams, can't really go back on based off their heritage. So the guy was something different, all pink, kind of Miami Heat style. And I actually kind of like it. It's not my favorite, but it is up there, and I'm giving them bonus points for creativity because, Jesus Christ, you wouldn't think of it as a Gold Coast Guernsey if you saw it from afar. Now, in number 4, we have West Coast new gatheran Guernsey in 2025. Obviously, as you can see, you've got a bit of a retro vibe with this one. Last year, they went for a more navy blue back. I like that more because of the use of the old AFL logo and the old Hungry Jacks logo. They've gone back to the original logos in this design. A lot of the fans are saying that this design of the eagle doesn't look good. It looks a bit off, but I think it's actually really cool. But I actually quite like it. I think it's cool how they've gone with a new design. It's completely different, never been rolled out before, exclusive at gatheran. So I think this is actually going to look really cool if you see this one in person. You've got a really nice color scheme of gold and blue. I like the look of the eagle, sort of a bigger eagle coming out from the side. I don't know, it almost reminds me of their Guernsey where they had an eagle coming out the side in the early 2010s, but this is mixed with a bit more of a retro vibe. and you're having it rolling out for gatheran. I think it's going to work well, clashed against the Blues. People might be overhating this one. I think this one's pretty sick. Now, heading into the top 3, we start things off with St Kilda's new design. Now, bloody hell, St Kilda, can you stop releasing bangers? Every year, we roll out like 3 or 4 new Guernseys, our merch, everything we roll out, and it just breaks the bank account. So, unfortunately, I won't be wearing it this year for gatheran as much as I would like to. As you can see, it's certainly a lot different to what St Kilda normally wear these days. You've got the red and black horizontal stripes with the collar. Now, it is based off their original 1873 design, which they wore when they first entered the VFA before the VFL. We have seen this Guernsey being rolled out before. This was in 2013 as part of their 140th year anniversary. I remember the good old days when Ahmed Saad and Terry Malera were rolling out this design. I believe we beat Carlton on a Monday night, so we're technically 1-0 the Saints with this design, but I just think it looks really nice. And the old school collar also adds a nice touch, which none of the other clubs have adopted either. I don't think it's quite the best, but it looks really nice, and I might even get my hands on it. At the moment, I haven't got my hands on one of these, but it's pretty cool, and it is certainly deserving of the top 3. In second spot, we have Sydney's 2025 gatheran design, and look how nice this is. Now, this one gives me a lot of retro vibes, even though the Swans have never really released this Guernsey before. It is a creative design that Nike have decided to roll out, as well as a lot of streetwear apparel are heading into gatheran. But Jesus is slick. I can't believe this hasn't already been done before or thought of. It's just so nice. It's obviously majority of the white, but you've got that red outline of the Sydney Opera House. It's a perfect as a use for a clash design. It's kind of like a stealth design, but white. So it's Sydney's version of a stealth design, I'm going to call it. And bloody hell, it looks sick. Of all the designs, it's certainly one of the more simplistic, but sometimes less is more, and this just is so clean that it deserves to be put in the second spot. Now, rounding out the list in first place, we have Melbourne's 2025 gatheran flamehead design, and this is a masterpiece. It really is that good. Now, it's not often you're going to see Melbourne this year topping many lists, but they've done well in the Guernsey department, and I think this is probably fitting of being in that #1 spot. Not only do they have the retro flamehead design, which I think needs to be brought back, I think it looks really nice, and they've never really gone with a design like this before. They've gone for variants in the 90s and the early 2000s. They may have worn something like this recently against the Giants, but as you can see, the old AFL logo, that's probably what elevates this to #1 spot. It always is a nice touch seeing that be the case. It looks so nice. I just really like the look of it. They've done so well, the Deeds, with this one, and it's a Guernsey that if I was a Deeds fan, even if I had no money in my bank account, I'd take out a loan just to purchase it. It's that good. So I'm looking forward to watching them run out in this against the Bombers. The Bombers also have a pretty cool design as well. So I think it's going to be nice on the eyes, this Melbourne v Essendon game. But I'm having Melbourne as the best gatheran design for 2025. So there you guys have it. Those were my rankings for 2025's new gatheran designs. Hopefully in the next coming years, we can see every single team adopt a new design. I really don't think it's that hard. And if clubs want to make money, it's the perfect way of doing so because people are going to be purchasing these designs. Check out my gatheran tips if you haven't already. And also subscribe to the channel as we're trying to hit 45,000 subs before the first bounce of gatheran in 2025.